What's going on, it's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to talk about the latest installment in this franchise of the Omen called The First Omen. I actually watched this movie last night, but due to some certain circumstances and breaking news, I couldn't do my review, had to address that, but I'm here the next morning to talk about this film. This is the prequel to the very first Omen from 1971, I believe. It follows an American girl named Margaret who travels to Rome to be a nun and give her services to Christianity and the religion, but as she's there, she discovers a conspiracy that will forever change her faith and leave her broken. Now, I'm not gonna front. When I first saw the trailer and even, heard about the movie, I was not impressed at all. I was like, I'm opting out of it. I wasn't even gonna see this movie, to be real. I really wasn't, because when it comes to nun movies and these religious movies that kind of are of the same ilk, a lot of them have been stale for me personally. Literally, the same reason I wasn't going to see Immaculate was the same reason I wasn't going to see this. Immaculate turned out to be damn good, and I can say the same thing about this film. This film is very good. I think it's better than Immaculate, just because they were able to play with the world that the Omen has already built up. So there's homages to the first film all around, but still manages to keep itself a different entity, and it takes things further than what the original Omen did. I haven't seen the other sequels. I know there are sequels, but I've heard that those aren't anywhere near as good, or people classify them as bad. I don't know, but I've seen the first one, and the first one is one of the scariest films to me, period. I always remember the nun saying, "It's all for you, Damien," and jumps down and hangs herself. That scene stuck with me for a while. So fucking creepy. So this movie has a very similar creep factor in regards to with things that they do in that movie, and like I said, it takes the shit further, man. And I have to shout out to the actress. I forgot what her name was. It's something, I don't want to mispronounce it, but I know she is British, I believe. Her performance in this film, hell, her performance in everybody. Like, there are moments when we see other nuns who go through traumatic events, and they sell the shit out of these events. You feel all the pain, you feel all the anguish, you feel the fear. This film was directed masterfully. There were scenes in here, like there's one scene in particular that's a jump scare that is literally the most typical and tropey jump scare possible, but holy shit, it made me jump out of my seat. And it's just the way that it's framed. I don't want to reveal it, but it was done so unexpectedly that I wasn't looking for it. Like, Margaret walks into this room and you're presented one thing that's creepy, and your whole emphasis is put on this creepy thing that's happening. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then you get hit with the tropiest scare of all, but oh my god, I just leaped out of my seat. And then there are a few other jump scares that really work, that are just crafted. Like, again, a lot of the tropes about jump scares, people don't like them, but I feel like when you can craft them well, they always work, and they're not cheap. And that's what makes jump scares good, when you craft them and they aren't cheap. So her performance was excellent. There's one sequence, again, later on in the movie, in the third act, that gave me goosebumps and chills, because it was all body acting, and oh my god, like I was watching it just like getting uncomfortable at the sounds, at the imagery. Just, I had to come home and watch something like something lighthearted because of what the things that scene in particular did. And oh man, there's just things that they did with the imagery that they didn't do in the first movie, and it was done subtly, but the subtle things were so far left that when you see it, you can't help but just be like there were so many jaw-dropping moments in here that I was not expecting to see. And the film is gory, but like in a different way, that like, it's not the typical like slasher gory where people get cut and blood spews everywhere. You do have bits and pieces of that for sure, but all I'm gonna say is there's body horror in here that is gonna make you tense up when you see it, because I did not expect to see some shit that I just saw. It was that crazy to where when certain things happen, the next few minutes of a scene just kind of like are blank because I'm thinking about what I just saw. I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. And as far as the story goes, it is pretty much typical for a story like this, because if you know it's the prequel to The Omen, you already have an idea of where the story's going. You already know what it's gonna do. Like, it revisits a lot of tropes when it comes to these sort of religious films. But again, it's one of those things that if you take a concept that's already known and you throw your own spin and originality on it, and just these particular ways from a particular vision, it makes the movie just fit on its own. I feel like this year has definitely done that for cinema. We've been presented ideas that we've seen before with, Immaculate, and the latest film I just saw, Monkey Man, and this one here, The First Omen. These are all stories and cliches that we've seen before 100 times, but because we have a very particular vision to craft the image and the story and the dialogue and the way things are framed and the music, it hits differently. Again, the music is another one that just really, really worked perfectly. The sound design, the way sounds sweet, the use of the opera to intensify certain sequences, even moments when you don't know what the fuck is going on and you're in a dark room and you can't see much of anything, but you get these sounds, these ominous sounds that just crank up the creep factor so much, man. Again, every single performance in the film works. Like, everybody came here to deliver something special, and this movie hit on all cylinders when it comes to the performances, and it just worked. I can't even think of much of anything that I would change or dislike in the movie. It just all really worked well. And what I really like too is it showed the full life of somebody who wants to become a nun, right? Like, there are moments when, at the beginning, when Margaret gets there and she's kind of finding her footing and people don't really mess with her and they're kind of trying to fill her out, and she ends up going out for like a weekend, like as a regular person. She takes all of her garb off and just goes to a club and just parties for a night. That's not something that I think I've seen in any of these particular type of movies, and I really enjoyed bringing that regular style life into it because it made it feel more personal. It humanized this world of the religion to shine a light on, like, hey, these still regular people. You even see scenes of like nuns having fun, smoking cigarettes, just living the normal life and being a normal person, and I really enjoyed it. And so when shit really gets cranked up, it feels even more realistic because we get to see them in such a regular state. So I thought this film was great. A lot of scares. Again, there are moments and cliches where I saw the story going the way it is. Like, I called everything the way I saw it, and you should be able to call it too, but it does not take away from the story at all. It still hits. So if you've seen The First Omen, let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like it? Did you love it? How do you compare it to the first one? And I don't know where I rank it because I haven't seen the first one in such a long time, but I really want to go back and rewatch that to see the homage to what they did in the film. And again, there's a scene that's an homage to another scene that I won't say because I don't want to spoil it. Just go watch it if you're interested in horror and this piqued your interest at all. The reviews that I've seen are all right, and that's really what got me into the theater to see it. People I trust who know cinema all gave this movie flying colors, and I'm here to agree with them. So if you're interested, go see it. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you, and until next time, peace.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.